speaking at any conference speaking at any conference while you're unemployed. Speaking at any conference while you're unemployed. I got called a fraud because of nothing in particular. Wildly baseless accusations. Thank you. Speaking at a conference as you, the unemployed person, angry at me defrauding people for what? For zero money, I'm going to show you how talented I am. Speaking at a conference while you're unemployed. You see, you're unemployed or underemployed. You don't think that I can do what I said I already did, which is easy to do. Book stuff. When you throw an accusation and you're off base, off truth, off your medication, we are going to now do something that's going to bake your noodle, which is speak at a conference while you're underemployed. Speak at a conference while you're unemployed, winning at speaking at a conference. This is the methodology. Strap in. The methodology that we're going to be using today are two protocols that have sub-protocols. Goal: speaking at a conference at an industry that you want to work in. Problem: you're unemployed. Problem: you actually half believe in what I'm saying because a quarter of your brain is on. What are we doing in this video? We're helping you speak at a conference while you're unemployed. Larry, I have a job. Can I also speak at a conference? Oh, most definitively, much easier if you're already working a job. This is this video becoming amazing. F you, money. So, the protocol that we're using is Crasher to VIP. You see, you read the gossip of, hey, Larry Chang just crashes things, and I don't think that's right. There's a protocol for it, and it's this: Crasher to VIP. What is VIP at a conference? Let's say Cantor Fitzgerald, let's say Ritz-Carlton, let's say November 10, 11, 12 for the leveraged assets, leveraged finance conference. Or AI as your PE, PM. AI, artificial intelligence, PE, private equity, PM, portfolio manager. I almost said program manager, but that's why these acronyms become complicated in a hurry. What we're doing here is we're intimidating people with some IQ 88 things. Why are we intimidated? I don't know. You shouldn't be intimidated because my IQ's 30 points below you, but my zeros are 9 zeros ahead of you. Let's get into how to speak at a conference as a unemployed person who used to be pansexual, used to be retarded. Now you're no longer going to be, because you got guys like Kevin Ashcroft chiming in, saying hi. Hopefully you're not a robot. Prove to me you're not a robot. Let's go. Protocol required. Crasher to VIP. Protocol. Hashtag HTG HFA OTR. How do you prove to me that you're not a robot? By hearing what I'm saying and applying it to the title of this video. What is the title of this video? You tell me, and I'll also tell you while I'm walking you through how to get home field advantage on the road. You may be employed, you may be unemployed, because today's Veterans Day, maybe you got the day off. Maybe you got the day off and forgot. Maybe you're unemployed. Maybe we can do this video as an amazing homage to Mark McCormack, what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. Larry, how am I going to speak at a conference where I don't even have a job? Right? That's the protocol. That's the challenge. This is me in being the #1 smartest human on the planet while having an IQ under 90, while you're claiming that I'm a fraud. I'm about to kick your butt right up to the lectern. I'm about to kick your ass towards the lecture circuit. I'm about to kick your butt forward into the VVIP circle to speak, which is this. You're going to practice this specifically. So we're doing this not together, but you're watching me do this. So you're unemployed or employed, but let's just say you're unemployed. And let's say your job that you want to get a job is in what? What do you want to get a job in? You can literally say any job. Let's say you want to be a palm tree broker. Let's say you want to get a job in venture capital, like me. Let's say you want to work in finance, even though you're 9 years away from an econ degree, or 11 years away from a 4-year degree in undergraduate finance. Let's say you've got 2 years of community college and a half a year of a 4-year school. You're approximately 3 years away from a 4-year degree. Larry, do I have to finish my degree? No. That's what makes how to speak at a conference while you're unemployed so jaw-droppingly amazing. Larry, I'd really like to be a yoga teacher because Larry, I know you're a yoga teacher and a bunch of hot women pay you to physically adjust them as their trainer. Oh, cool. So in the comments, tell me what you want to do for a job. That commensurate job has a professional association. So in reverse chronological order, yoga teacher. There is a yoga journal association of professionals to help fellow yoga teachers become better professionals. So in the comments, tell me what kind of job you have last applied to. By telling me that, we then reverse engineer our way towards a job offer, but also speaking at conference. So, yoga teacher, you want to be a yoga teacher, current status, unemployed. You want to be a venture capitalist, current status, can't read a book. No pressure to find a job because for the past 10 months, you've given up on finding a job and you lie about your employment status, which is why you call me a fraud because you've given up and you can't understand how my side quest into becoming a YouTube personality is taking the world What we're talking about is going from unemployed to employed. What we're talking about, oh, this tea is delicious. What we're talking about is how to speak at a conference to go from unemployed to having a job. Is that a topic that you might be interested in? That's a funny question because of course you are. That's why you're riveted. Of course you are, or else that's why you're here. If you weren't interested, you would be distracted. It sounds like a magical trick to say, Larry, you're going to tell us how to speak at a conference as an unemployed person? But then what about the other people at conference? But what about the people at conference that have a job? Why don't they get to speak, right? Why don't those people speak first? Am I going to be jumping ahead, right? Am I going to be jumping ahead? So this material and content, it's just for humans. Robots and humans that act like robots that live in other countries, you're not welcome. But if you want to become more human-like, prove to us that you're a human after your timeout. This is what we're doing. It's a magical trick, which is speaking at a conference that we aren't even invited to, unpaid. Step 1. Do you want to be a yoga teacher? Seriously? Step 1, again, which is what industry did you want to work in? This is where most people say, Larry, right now, I'll take any job in any industry. I'm pansexual. And then I'll say, what are we talking about your sexuality for? Can we just focus on your brain? Oh, well, I just want to let you know that I'm pansexual. Yeah, you told me that already. Neurodivergent. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Really? Really? So you're going to come initially with your disability? Let's set aside your disability because Daddy Larry is not going to be DEIing a mentee towards you getting workers' comp because of your neurodivergence. Which is, Larry, I also have something to tell you. The reason I've been using a alias and a pseudonym is I'm really ugly and I'm not presentable and I don't even have a LinkedIn profile picture that's a professional picture. So Larry, I can't speak at a conference because I'm not good looking, competent, and charming as you. That's why I call you a fraud, Larry Chang, which is what I received. Hey, I see your content. You're totally fraudulent. That's why I'm doing this video To me, pretty basic. To me, this is from the archives. To me, you should have done this already. To you, this is new. What's new to you and new to the hater that's going to watch this? Yeah, I'm going to watch this in secret and try to pick out how he's fraudulent. No mistakes here. No mistakes here. How to speak at a conference as an unemployed person, therefore increasing your likelihood of getting a job. When you're having such a hard time getting a job because the jobs are fake, fictional stuff is fake, and now you've not even, you're getting a job should be a job. Whereas the way you get a job is once every other month, you spend 4 hours to try to get a job. You'll watch one YouTube video and then you'll say, oh, now I'm motivated because that person, that YouTube influencer, got you to think that you're more valuable than you are. And then you got to thinking that you're not crappy. And then you tried a little bit, got frustrated, and then you saw a Larry Chang video and you're like, oh, he makes it sound so easy. Fucking fraud. Like, what? What? I'm here to help you step by step. F you, patrol troll. This is a video, hardcore, soup to nuts, speak at an industry conference as you, the losers bracket person who's unemployed. This is how. So you pick a particular conference. It is critical for you to pick a particular conference because the reason you're unemployed is because you're trying to apply at 17 things, sucking at all of it. This is the first time you've ever focused. Let's say you want to be a VC. I'm not even joking that interns are closer to millionaire than most 38-year-old bald dudes who look like they're 45 but then are actually in their early 30s. That's why you're demoralized. That's okay. By the end of this video, you're going to be amazing. When your comments begin to sound like you're not a robot, come back. If you click away, perfectly happy. If you come back, decide to be better and connect with what I'm saying versus paste copying 3 things from the neurodivergent center for staying neurodivergent. That's translated into remedial English. The retarded center of being retarded, no longer full retard. Let's speak about that at the neuroscience convention, where you're going from retard to speaker. How? Why? I watched a Larry Chang video and I saw that you were having a conference. I went ahead and wrote 2 articles prior to that neurodivergence conference. Is your likelihood of speaking increased or decreased because you published 2 articles? Where did you publish these articles? On a web page. This is Web 12, where you can speak at a conference just by coming up with what would Larry Chang have spoken about at that conference. I'm not going to talk at that conference because I don't need a crappy job. You're the one who doesn't have anything except for hateful comments. Hi, Larry. How are you? It's great to see you. After your timeout, come back more focused. And instead of talk here, maybe focus on the focus of this video, which is going from unemployed person that you are to speaker at a neurodivergent conference. Okay, so more specifically, Benji, it would be you wanting to be a VC because you've listened to me talk about VC, venture capital, over the course of 20 videos. So you do some research and you look up Boston National Association of Venture Capital. You're an unemployed VC, not even a VC. You would take any kind of job. Let's get you a speaking gig at Boston. So you and I Google together. Well, specifically you, because you're the one going from the loser's bracket to speaker. You're the one going from crasher to VIP. Why am I so animated right now? Why do I have so much energy? Because someone called me a fraud for, oh, you're full of shit. How so? Oh, I don't know. It's just not that easy. Oh, what's not that easy? Well, all of it, because I'm unemployed. Okay, so what if my stuff is fraudulent? Oh, well, none of it, all of it. This is what it's like when I share with you my real cell phone number. Is now we're having a conversation and I can't unhear the stupid things that I read and heard. Now you're going to either win or pretend like you never watched 10 videos. Why? Because I'm dropping this video called How to Speak at Any Conference as a Person Who is Unemployed. This is how. So, venture capital. You only know about it because I've mentioned it in passing. Now, since you listen to the equivalent of 2.0 full podcasts, aka snippets over 10 YouTube videos of Larry Chang, you now want to be a VC. This is how you go career to career to career to unemployed in this career, unemployed in that career, unemployed, unemployed, unemployed. And then when people commiserate with you, you say, oh, well, the money printing. Oh, it's bullshit. Or that guy, Larry Chang, he's a fraud. So we picked out something specific, the National Association of Venture Capitalists. You're going to be speaking, buckle up. This is how. You're going to go back into the archives, dating all the way back to day 1, which is November 1, 2025. I don't know if you knew what you were doing then, but today is November 10. What you're doing is you're talking to the number 1 ranked person with a 9-way PhD. Larry, do you really have a PhD in venture capital? If they gave out PhDs for VC, I would have written 60 defendable theses on venture capital. So, you're unemployed. You're trying to get 1.0 job. You're throwing accusations at people trying to help you. me, Larry Chang, I'm trying to help you. And when we're when we're addressing people such as Benjamin, hi, how are you? After a timeout, come back better, because instead of just typing, you could have been listening. After the timeout, come back better, focus on the focus, which is speaking at any conference as you, Benjamin. I'm going to guess you're unemployed. This is the kind of question that we're going to ask. Why is Larry Chang so confident? Why is Larry Chang right now so angry? Well, I'm so confident because I'm so confident. Why am I so angry? Don't tone police me in my own video. If you're tone policing, you're saying, Larry, can you speak more like a neurodivergent pansexual? Because I am pansexual neurodivergent, and I'm scissoring my brain into scissoring because I know you're a lesbian. I know you're a fraudulent lesbian. I know you are. Cool. Enough with the sex talk. Can we talk about the work talk? Because the work talk is us helping you speak at a conference as a unemployed person. After the timeout, feel free to come back better. After the timeout, feel free to come back better. If you had a legitimate question, you'd have asked it. This is how fat girls cold open, not speaking at a conference, as the chubby girl is going to be barely making 100K total before she turns 30. Total. Is the chubby catching strays? Nope. Because we're at a female employment conference called Gender Pay Gaps and the Patriarchy That Causes These Problems. You are unemployed. Could you speak at that conference? The shortest timeout for you, the shortest timeout for you. The shortest one that I could dole out is 30 minutes because you're neurodivergent. Let's wrangle your 60 IQ points and really apply them into a particular conference. So, you stare at the syllabus called the agenda, called you never looked at your high school syllabus. Last year of college graduated is -2, aka junior year of high school. No judgment. No judgment, high school diploma non-holder. No judgment, 7 years away from a 4-year degree in economics, which I could get in 8 months. So, the agenda. This is what you do with the agenda. You ask AI, Grok, hey, what would Larry Chang do to make this agenda better? Do you see how easy this is? Do you see how easy this is? Because you don't say, hey, question, I have a question. Because if you say, question, I have a question, you're like the chubby girl that's like, you're probably going to say no, but I'm like, yeah, no, just no. Or, hey, this might be out of left field. Yeah, no, I don't care. I don't want to hear. Aren't you a little bit curious? Absolutely not. Absolutely not curious at all. When you look at the agenda, you're solving the agenda. This is how to win by speaking at a conference as an unemployed person. Let's use the example of Cantor Fitzgerald, Ritz-Carlton, Miami Beach, November 10, 11, 12. That agenda has holes. Problem: never do an after party on Monday night. Problem: did you get a backup speaker? Problem: problem: did the agenda executor, aka postmenopausal female, remember to do a book activation? Why am I saying postmenopausal? Because it's always a 50 to 55-year-old woman setting the agenda. Why? Because postmenopausal did it last year too. Why? That's just what happens. What we're doing here is we're running circles around a boomer. If you can't use AI to run circles around a boomer, you're a boomer. If you can't speak at a conference organized by boomers, attended by boomers, monetized by boomers, so in the agenda, you look for one of the speakers who has written a book. So I don't know if you know what a book is, but what you do is you kill a tree and then you slop some ink on and then you glue the pages together. You probably have never touched one before. You may even allegedly read one of these leafed papyrus sheets. Allegedly read one. I don't think you can read one now, but that's what you're looking for, is a papyrus. I don't know what you people in the Gaza, Middle East, Palestine, Jewland will have to hold. Or if you're in America, a Kindle, that thing that is still mint condition that you don't touch, just like no one's been touching your vagina or your penis. That thing, that Kindle. What you're doing with this book is you are going to look up who the author is. Why? Because that author, they're gonna have sold 42 book, and it's not plural, because if you can't sell 800,000 books, that's singular. They can't sell 43 book. Who's watching this and not liking? Because when that happens, you get distracted, because you are gonna just be like that person who called me a fraud. Why does it hurt you more than it hurts me? Because it helps me ginormously, because I win if you think I'm a fraud. I win if you think I'm amazing. Either way, I'm gonna win. How do you win? You only win when you're on a team with you on your own team. When you're trying to destroy yourself, you're going to let people catch strays while you're destroying yourself. What are you talking about? So it isn't you're a retard, because you're a smart person, but you're acting neurodivergent. That's why you get put in timeout. Collect all 130 of your IQ points in your Cornell education, okay? I know you wanted to go to Stanford. I know you ended up at Carnegie Watermelon, okay? Like, I wouldn't be caught dead at that school. I would just go sit outside of Illinois, Stanford, Harvard, and just plug into Wi-Fi and just study each class within computer science versus go to BCBU Wellesley. Do they even let men into Wellesley? I mean, I know that's Cambridge. Come back better after your timeout. This is what we're doing. They sold, problem, they sold under 50 book. So you're going to help them sell 5 book. Do you see how every video is basically the same thing, which is no one sold shit, it's all bullshit, and everyone can't pay attention to the details because people are asking stupid ass neurodivergent questions, which is, hey Larry, if you had to have one friend, what one vagina would you want to fornicate for the rest of your life by giving away half your money if she decides to get distracted? So what's the one thing that you would do with your dick? What? What's the one thing I would do? The one thing I would do is the 650 little things that I would do to be a really, really good football player. What one thing would I do to be a really, really good basketball player? That would be the 650 things that Kobe Bryant copied from Michael Jordan. Good artists create, great artists create and pay attention to details. So, the book, my eye itches. Is there something, do you see something on my finger? I'm not angry that you called me a fraud. I'm not. I'm angry not because it hurts me. It helps me when you call me a fraud. Because when losers think that winners are losers, winners win. I'm angry because I spent all this time and then you're so close to becoming slightly less loser. And then your wagon wheels fall off because you're pansexual, neurodivergent, and you're like, oh, his positivity was just like the positivity of the person who was supposed to be a positive male figure in my life. And now I'm going to just call him a fraud. Trust me, I'm not doing this to date you, dudes, okay? Because one, I don't date dudes. And if I did date dudes, I wouldn't be dating a 40-year-old dude with no hair and a dude. Like, if I wanted to do that, I would just date a 40-year-old dude. But I like to play the game on hard mode, so even if I did want to date a 40-year-old dude, which I do not, because how hard was that? How do gay dudes go out on dates? Hey, do you want to fuck? Cool, I want to fuck. You horny? Yeah, I'm horny. Cool, let's fuck and be done. I would want to, if I were gay, which I'm not, I would only date women who are older than 33, younger than 38. Why do I want to date in that range? Because their shot clock is ticking down so loudly and heavy. Now their uterine lining is not growing properly because they've got inflammation. Their egg count is a little bit off, and one whiff of clean testosterone, they're done. They're done. They don't want any of that. Look, I literally had to give myself a kitty puppy shower because I feel gross just talking about that. Ugh. Ugh. That's what I would do if I were child traumatized by penis that I did not consent to. Is I would play the vagina game. Oh my God, did I just pray your gay away? On the other side of everything you want is hard mode. So just do some of the hard things. So just pay attention to how to speak at a conference as an unemployed person. The book. On the agenda, there's at least 5 people who wrote book. One of the people is probably debuting, premiering, or grand opening their book. You're going to correct me. This is your ability to pay attention. On the agenda of the conference, there is a person who wrote a book. You're going to use AI to get a chapter by chapter summary. Why? Why not actually buy the book? One, you've never purchased a book before. And the books that you have purchased, you have not read. 2, you don't have enough money to buy a book. 3, if you bought the book, you still wouldn't read it because you have 4 other nonfiction business books that you have not yet purchased. 4, this is exactly how to speak at a conference. I'm just showing you the back door. You know what it's like to go in through the back door, right? This is the front door, because what you think is the back door is actually the unguarded door, where I'm showing you the double door. Technically, it's a quadrador, and you may not know what a pentador is. It's an octodor. The way you enter a door is you plug up the keyhole as you walk into the door, and you say, oh, well, normally my app unlocks my door. I'm showing you an octodor. What's an octodor? It's looking up the book is door 1. What's behind door number 2, Larry? It's this. Speaking at a conference, you're unemployed. You need to speak at a conference because you have a broken brain. What's behind door number 1, Larry? It's looking at the agenda of any conference and looking for weakness. Where's the weakness? The weakness is in the VIP. Remember, only rich, smart people want to hear this kind of talk. So if you're here listening to my drivel or my, what was it? It was something. Larry talking shit again. So there you go. So what's behind door number 2? It's a millionaire author who is languishing with book sales. Pay attention, because what's behind door number 3 is incredibly counterintuitive, but something that I've said now borderline 20 times. And that is this. We want to help rich people get richer. That author of the book at the conference that we want to speak at, they're a rich person, they're a VIP, they have a problem. How do you know that they have a problem? Because the number 1 smartest person that you've ever talked to, in addition to being the number 1 smartest human on the planet, is telling you they've got a problem. You don't believe me? Look at their sales data on their ISBN number. It's not good. How do we make it better? That's behind door number 3. Remember, this is an octo door. How do you enter an August lock or a Schlaggy lock via the door app or a chirp? Is this Jason's company? Is this Nick's company? Is this, let's use a phone to open a door? Wait a minute. Are there tax implications on this? This is me understanding everything about everything. Let's focus instead on door number 3. You see, you're going to solve a rich person's problem, and in the process, you're going to speak at the conference. This is a point in time where then people say, oh, cool, I want to do it my way. Oh? Your way? You mean remain unemployed for the next 10 years? This is where people who are focused and paying attention, like the single digit number of people that I'm staring at eyeball to eyeball. Hey, student athlete, look up, I'm talking to you. You, good job you, because I've been yelling at other people and you've been catching it. But eyes up, student athlete, you are doing a great job. Here's your payoff. Upper middle class, lower middle class people who had a dad that stuck around, those people are about to get rich, because this is the point in the conversation where people who are about to level up, they say, oh my God, this sounds eerily familiar. Why is it eerily familiar? Because this is everyone's inception story that did something that was vaguely street smart. What we're doing here is we're coattailing a person by solving their problems. Let's say the author of the book is Safedin Amu, and he's speaking at a Bitcoin for Corporations conference or a board of directors conference. This is one of the books. So you read, or you can't read. So you have AI read, but you buy 2 books. Why are you buying 1, 2, or 0 books? Because you're trying to sell 5. How do you sell 80 books, Larry? Because I'm all about, tell me one thing to do. Tell me one thing to do, Larry. Cool. The one thing to do is to sell 5 books the night before they speak. Why? They speak at 1:20 on November 12th. You sell the books the night before. Larry, I'm so confused right now. Tell me about how to speak at a conference. You are speaking at a conference. You're speaking at a conference the night before by doing a fireside chat with the author, because postmenopausal, her uterine lining is throwing off her brain and she forgot to book the speaker to double book. Wait a minute, Larry, double booking's bad. Double booking is not bad. It's back-to-back booking. Who's going to be the fireside chat question asker? That would be you. You'd be the question asker. Why would the question asker be good? The question asker would be good because Shanghainese, quasi-Shanghainese person just got put in timeout. About to. You're the one living in Shanghai. You're the one living in Shanghai saying super neurodivergent stuff. It's kind of crazy how I remember everybody, isn't it? Old Driver is who I speak of. Shanghai Home O, which is double booking. That's behind door number 4. You see, when the author is speaking at 1:15, they need to fly in the night before. They could fly in day of in the morning, but they don't risk it. Plus, they need to do their regiment. You now get to ask 3 questions in a unofficial fireside chat. These are the supplies that you need. 2 books by that author, 1 tripod, and I'm not talking about 2 girls, 1 dick. I'm talking about a tripod to rest your phone so that way you ask questions and the author has answers. Door number 5. You could hope for the MOAS, which is mother of all short squeezes, or you can bark up door number 6, which is related to MOAS, which is NOAS. NOAS is similar to MOAS, but you're not getting any ass. This is where it's a slam dunk. Why? Because you're just meeting up with the author to do a Q&A while selling 20 books. Oh my God, Larry, did you just go from 2 books to 20 books? Yeah, because I need to reward you guys somehow. This is how we're gonna sell 20 books. Daddy Larry is going to show you Uncle Larry Shiitake, which is Eventbrite. Oh, but Larry, the cool kids are on Luma. Yeah, we're using Eventbrite. For every person who wants a free book, they're going to have to spend $30. If you show up at the Safedine Amu book signing, if you show up at the Mark McCormack book signing, you get your 30 bucks back and a book. Let me repeat that math because you might have missed the hashtag LCRRM, the Larry Chang reverse rebate model. What is that? That is where you could have done 2 books, but now we're doing 20. Who's funding this? Who's funding this? That would be the big guy. Why? Because you're doing guacamole recipe number 4. You're marking your Eventbrite event the night before the speaker speaks at 1:20, which is the night before, which is 8:45 to 9:15. You're doing an author fireside chat for 25 people. Why 25? Because 5 people are gonna flake, but you're going to be ready in case all 20 plus people show up. Why does the author now have to come? The author has to come because they've only sold 45 books. You're now literally going to double their sales. Why? Because the $30 is rebated. But what's happening is you're going to have a copy ready for them if they don't flake. This is risk. If they flake, they're fucked. If you can't pay attention to details, you're not fucked. You're just going to continue to be unemployed. Do you see how when details get executed, now you get to ask 3 questions? Boomers. This is how boomers ask questions. They beg for a conference badge. They stand up and say, "Hi, I'm Larry Chang and I'm from Duck 9 and our company does deeply understood capital knowledge. I have a question. Are you a fraud? Where you're like, what? You're going to preamble all that just to say something stupid? This is a better way to ask questions, which is question. Do you offer press passes? Remember, you thought speaking at a conference was, Larry, tell me one thing I need to do, and I'll spend 6 seconds doing it, and then I'll be a millionaire. That's not how money or million works. This is how money works. Hi, I already wrote 2 articles. Is postmenopausal? Do you guys know how to fucking read? Why are you talking this unprofessionally, Larry? Because this is how people that have 4 jobs talk. Is, are you a fucking robot? Are you retarded? Oh, this feels like one of the people that does 20x work. You're no longer unemployed. You're no longer unemployed because you now talk like you're a 10x engineer. Now, granted, you don't want to talk like a 10x engineer when you can't get one engineering degree that's a 4-year degree in 5 years. Yeah, most people are illiterate. So what you're doing is maybe you don't want to call people retarded, but you do want to say, hey, this is my 3rd email and 5th voicemail. Actually, you don't want to say that. You want to send a 5th voicemail or a 3rd email as a first email by saying, hey, I've written 2 articles. Tell me your reaction to the fact that I wrote a summary using AI. I wrote a summary on my website, www. I used to be unemployed, and then I watched onelarrychangvideo.com. Have you seen that article? Here it is attached. If they don't offer you a free media pass, that conference organization is about to go bankrupt. Why? Because that conference badge, it's $8. Let me show you one. So, remember I was talking about Cantor Fitzgerald, Miami South Beach. Guess who is going to go home after Cantor Fitzgerald? AI, PE, PM. Artificial intelligence, private equity, portfolio management. This piece of plastic, it costs $8. I mean, supplies-wise, it costs $8, but they're spending 2.5 mil. Of the people that they spent the 2.5 mil on, guess who wrote a WordPress? 0. Now, all the people on YouTube watching all the YouTube content, all of them, how many people wrote a WordPress summary on, hey, I watched a Dan Martell video. He wrote the book, Take Back Your Time. This is what I learned in this Dan Martell video. Do you see how we're doing Web 12? And you called me a fraud, where you only called me a fraud, but what I heard was, Larry, my dad left when I was a kid. You said, you're a fraud, and I heard someone's penis entered your butthole and ruined your brain. You said, hey, Larry, you're a fraud. And I heard, okay, well, how can I help you? And then you just said 3 more crazy things, and I'm like, oh, So you're a pansexual neurodivergent, I guess. What can I do to help you? Because I'm never talking to you again, right? This is you making it up to me, where I don't want you to make it up to me by sending me gifts or saying sorry. I want you to make it up to me by getting yourself a fucking job, by speaking at a conference. Door number 7. Door number 7 is you write a 15-sentenced WordPress article. 12 sentences, 2 pictures, 1 focus. So, why are you doing this? Because you're trying to speak at a conference as an unemployed person. Larry, I want to do it my way. Oh, cool. Cool. You're going to have to let me know how your way works, because Mark McCormick's way is amazing. This is why every amazing thing I've done, I can reverse engineer. That's why I run shit in Silicon Valley to the point where people are like, we need to ban this, because if people heard that the Illuminati is hiding in the library, we're going to get black people to invent their first thing. Did I say black people? I did. This is your first Chinese friend. This is door number 8. Door number 8 is door number 12, which is, why won't you pre-study the conference? Remember, we're taking you as the unemployed person and we're installing you to speak. Do you know how many speakers show up and say, oh, my boss canceled, so I'm doing his presentation for them? Everybody loses when that happens. Did postmenopausal conference producer remember to book a backup speaker? Nope, we're screwed. Someone had a last minute cancellation. Cantor Fitzgerald. There are 85 speakers that are making 8.5 mil or more. And then there's another 500 in the losers bracket, barely cracking 500K. Those douchebags have schedule deltas. By Shanghai Homo Dude saying that I'm a rich person worshiper, it's projection, where you're literally up my jock talking about my place in Shanghai because you're good at Googling, okay? Hello? If I'm letting the property appear on property tax open databases, don't you think that's a honeypot? Door number 9, I promised 2 doors. You're currently walking into the door as an unemployed person. I never know if people are talking crap towards me or crap towards someone else. That was a trap, pumpkin. So once you fall into honeypot, because I think there should be 15 carvers. I think there should be, versus name another one and now you're screwed. This is why Singapore and Stanford recruited me religiously and repeatedly, whereas historically black colleges never recruit me. I'm good at sports, okay? I'm pretty good. Why am I not getting recruited? In basketball, I got 4 years left of eligibility. I could play a little basketball, shooting the tray ball, while lecturing the engineering school, or I'm sorry, starting the engineering school, because I don't think there is one. Door number 10. Door number 10 is this. That's so easy. This is so easy. Door number 10 is this. You ready for door number 10? You know what? I'm only going to give you door number 10 if stop saying jokes. It's not relief shortstop. It's can't stop, won't stop, chain stop. Your ethnicity is peeking through. Door number 10. So 40 days prior to 90 days prior to conference, you do conference. Let me repeat what I said. February 8th is the Super Bowl. So on November 19, on Wednesday, you do a pre-conference party. The conference, February 8th. We're talking about speaking at the Super Bowl. On November 19, you connect November 19 to February 8. That's door number 10, which is you trying to double sales for their conference because the losers bracket, aka the middle class, got their tickets canceled because management is thinking about paying themselves more money and firing people and blaming it on AI. Therefore, shit's in jeopardy. Oh, is this the 30th time I've also said this? Yeah. Which is door number 10, which is 40 to 90 days prior. 40 to 90 days prior, you do a pre-conference networking event. Do you see how easy this is? You can't stop it. You can't stop it. So Chinese people are the only people that you cannot culturally appropriate. Why? Because you Chinese people, you keep on inventing new shit and you don't care if some other ethnicity says they're the ones who invented fortune cookies. They're the ones that invented how to read a book. They're the ones that invented whatever. Door number 12. Stop with the political thing. Politics aren't going to save you. Just because you're on the winning party of communism, guess what happens? They kill all the people that supported them every time. But good news, because behind door number 13, the reserve currency that's after the US dollar, because when the US goes into communism, socialism, Texas gets to pull the entire country out because of Bitcoin mining. That's Web 5. That's Cantor Fitzgerald. The conclusion of every AI is we need more energy. That's you understanding I'm going from unemployed person to speaker, door 14. I'm going from crasher to VIP, door 1. IBU, we're intermingled, where I'm going from casual YouTube viewer to speaker at a specific conference, doing a protocol, hashtag EUTWM PPM, where you're pre-blogging, you're writing WordPress, you're wrangling a speaker that is already speaking to speak again by hard selling, hard closing books up to 20. And if there's a financial shortfall, I will cover those books. How? Why? I'm not just going to give you 20 books, which I am going to do, but you're going to need to do Web 12 work, which is email, text me, and show me that you've got a treasure map. This is Dungeons and Dragons. This is me telling you for a 20th time or a first time, depending on how many videos you are onto, which is you're unknowingly playing Dungeons and Dragons. What? Yeah, this is a map. This is a map to your money. You are playing Dungeons and Dragons with no weapons, not enough IQ points, and a shitty map with no map. You're literally up a creek with no oars and no boat. So you're like one of those Indian people who's in a river of shit thinking that cow shit is somehow sacred and sacrosanct. But I'm not down with that. I'm helping you, give you a motorboat hovercraft to avoid that river of shit. Just like I'm trying to give you a life raft for the coming flood. Not to say that you're going to drown when the flood comes. What I am going to say is if you were a little bit less obese and a little bit better able to learn, you'd be better adaptable. Where take away all my money, take away half my IQ, and my EQ would eventually be able to figure it out. Plus, I'm also kind of bullish on America because I get what happens this time when money dies. But since you're struggling with understanding the macroeconomic situation because you haven't read macroeconomic theory and extrapolated how history repeats, because you doubt Larry Chang, you doubt Web 5, you doubt Web 4, you doubt Web 3, you barely are handling Web 2. Like, you're not great at social media. You guys are, okay? Some people are catching strays, but when you get this kind of coaching, know that I coach myself way harder, which is why I'm so detail-minded. Behind door number 14 is this. When you help that rich person who wrote a book, you become limitless. You become Jim Quick. You're executing chapter 26. The reason I have a shit-eating grin and a sparkle in my eye is why? Because this is the 10th time I've mentioned chapter 26, because Jim Quick's book only goes to chapter 19. Whereas hashtag CHA26 is something that you should have researched on your own. Now you will research it and do it if you want to speak at a conference as a person who's employed in your field. This is even easier if you aren't unemployed. It works if you're unemployed. It just works better if you suck less. What are some of the steps, Larry? How do I make sure that my map is good? Step 1, write 12 sentences to 40 sentences of what you did via this video that was over an hour. Show people what the doors are. Get one friend to join you in speaking at a Bitcoin conference April 27 to April 29. Biohacking. Speak at a conference that's not in your industry if you don't want to ruin your reputation doing this seemingly crazy stuff that's not so crazy. Cool. Do biohacking Dave Asprey's conference, May 27 to May 29. Or dabble in AI. You're standing next to the money printer, well, at least closer now, standing next to Larry Chang, telling you that the Super Bowl, not theoretically, specifically, is at San Francisco. Can you speak at the Super Bowl? Will you install yourself to speak at the Super Bowl? Because February 3 through February 10 are when people who are going to fly in private and then fly out February 9 private. What you're doing is you're using antiquated tools. Eventbrite. I know that there's Luma. You're using an antiquated tool, WordPress. I know that there's AssPress. Okay, have you heard of the new WordPress? It's the new thing. I know that I'm recommending old tools, but you have pen and you don't use it. Are we pen pals? Have you been texting me useful stuff? What about email? Or are you worried that you're going to send me an email and I'm going to reject you? Are you worried about me rejecting you? Ladies, 2 book, 1 girl. Ladies, 2 girls, 1 book. Ladies, get 1 study buddy and we'll do a 3-way where all of us will speak at conference. This is only applicable to you if you're a ACC female alumni, older than 22, younger than 23.